Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Carol's Daily Sauce. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell so that you right there are reminded of all the videos that I upload, and you'll be in the loop of Carol's Daily Sauce. What we're discussing on today is actually, excuse me, y'all, still got the scratch. Requested a video. Someone had requested that I go take a look at, I believe her name is pronounced Quayla Ann. Forgive me if I am mispronouncing your name, young lady. So I do reaction videos. It is not an intent to dog anybody out. However, I do speak my truth. I speak how I feel because, simply speaking, I can. So basically what I do is I go a reaction to, well, basically what this is a straight up reaction to a rant. Now, what we have is we have a young lady by the name of Quayla Ann, who I just found out is a mother of 6 children. I did not know that, but I found out she does have 6 children. I guess she had her first one when she was 14 years old. Does that make this young lady a bad person? Absolutely not. It doesn't make her a bad person. It may have something to do, obviously has something to do with the choices that she makes, but this is not about her choices. This is about, excuse me, the rant her mother was having. And basically what her mother was saying was, I refuse to take care of my grandchildren. She refuses to. So the grandmother at the start of the video, throughout the duration of the video, might I add that was only 4 minutes long, was pretty upset throughout the entire video. Upset, mad, face all torn up and everything. And basically what she said was, grandmothers aren't obligated to babysit their children. She says the new generation millennials got it all messed up. That's not how nice she said it. I'm being nice. But she said that the new generation millennials have it all linked up. And she said the reason why she became a grandparent doesn't make her a babysitter, nor does it make her a daycare. She went on to say that true grandparents, excuse me, are supposed to raise their children right so that when they start to have children, they'll be financially set, financially able to provide daycare, provide anything for them, housing, when they go to work, when they go out to play, and anything that it is that they want to do. They won't specifically need their grandmother because they have their mother. Do I agree with that? Absolutely not. You can clearly hear that the young lady that is having the rant is pretty upset. And you can also hear some young ladies in the background trying to interject, asking her questions. Now, when I think of it, it almost looks like to me that it could have been a staged video because they were asking her questions and she was going off. Now, it could be staged, but it could be something that this grandmother has already reiterated to these young ladies, and they just didn't get it at the time. And as a result of them not getting it, she is reiterating it, and she is reiterating it. So basically what she's saying is, she's saying something to the effect of, true grandparents are supposed to be able to call for their grandchildren. So you can't drop them off. You can't ask me to keep them. No. I need to get on the phone as a grandparent and be able to say, I'd like to spend time with my grandchildren. The daughter says that, well, grandchildren come to see their grandmother in the summer. The mother says, no, they don't. That's only if the mother and the father are separated and they share custody, and in the summertime, the father has the child. Not so. That's not so in all cases. I stayed with my grandmother, and my mother was a single parent. I didn't have a relationship with my father when I was younger, so I don't know where that's coming from. Now, she may be speaking her piece, but it's not fair to speak on behalf of grandmothers. You know what she should have said? She should have said, me as a grandmother, I'm not obligated to keep grandchildren, because technically you can't speak on behalf of all grandchildren, or at least you can't speak on behalf of me. She went on to say that grandparents are supposed to be able to come to her daughter's house or her son's house. They're supposed to be able to visit with their children and their grandchildren, and you're supposed to be able to drop the children at Granny's house when Granny calls. Not the other way around. You're not supposed to drop the kids off when you have a doctor's appointment or when you need me. And this young lady went on to say that when she has doctor's appointments, she has to take all of her children with her to her doctor's appointments. The mom went on to say that grandmothers are supposed to keep their grands in their leisure time. She's right, because it is her leisure time. But it's nothing wrong with grandmothers helping their children. Grandparents aren't supposed to be daycares, is what she said. She goes on to say that everyone's time is valuable and that grandparents need their leisure time. I agree that grandparents need their leisure time. She said that we as grandparents have worked very hard at getting kids and everybody out of our house. Why would we want to raise grandchildren after we then taught and raised our own children? She said that's out of order. Then she went on to say, Black people and the Black culture are dysfunctional, and they think that Black grandparents are supposed to keep and raise the children. I think that's unfair. I think that's an unfair statement, because there are dysfunctional Caucasian families, there are dysfunctional Asian families, there is dysfunction in every race, okay? It's not only the Black culture, it's not only the Black race. You deserve to be educated, period, okay? I understand you're upset. I understand you're mad. It may be a staged video. I don't know. But you look mad with 2 Ds. I mean, you look big mad, okay? I don't understand. She said that the rules and the plans should be in the hands of the grandmother. The grandmother should be the one to call. The grandmother should be the one to book and plan events and plan things with their children. Sounds like to me that your grandchildren are sort of a transaction. Now, I do agree that grandmothers do plan things. My mother planned and took her children, her grandchildren, to Disneyland. So I do agree with that. However, I don't think that you can clearly speak on all grandparents. You just can't. You can speak on yourself, but you can't clearly speak on all grandparents. You can't do that. You can't speak for me. I know for one. All the while she is ranting and raving, talking loud, tearing up her face, throwing her hands up and all this, there are these 2 beautiful babies. Now, I don't know if the babies are twins or not. I don't know if they're twins or not, but one has on pink and one has on blue, and they look to be about the same age. I can tell you this, Quayla Ann, or I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, has gained a subscriber, because I love any type of family channel. I love single mom channels, especially when the single moms are doing what's productive for their children. But this granny is still going on saying, you can't drop your kids off on me when you want to. I kind of understand what she's saying, because there is a problem in the world in general, not just with Black families. Maybe she's saying the Black culture because she is Black. Maybe she's just speaking for who she knows and what she knows or what she assumes. But I think it's kind of small. I think it's kind of a gray area, because You can't speak on behalf of all grandparents. You just can't. Some grandparents, such as myself, absolutely love their grandchildren. My grandchildren, this past March, moved away. So they could come to me anytime. And even when they were here, I was so excited to be a grandparent. Now, I did not become a grandparent until I was 50 years old. So that may have something to do with it. But this grandmother goes on to say that she's already raised her kids, and we ain't supposed to be tied down raising no kids. We're supposed to be going out and doing bingo and going to senior citizen clubs and doing this and doing that. I agree with her. You are supposed to live your life. But living your life doesn't mean that you aren't supposed to help your children. Living your life doesn't mean that you aren't supposed to love upon your grandchildren. She said, we raised y'all to take care of your own kids. This is the way I feel. If you raise them and you raise them correctly and appropriately, my opinion, okay, you wouldn't have to worry about them trying to attempt to drop their kids off on you. I'm just saying. So all the while I'm looking at the babies, I'm like, they're so cute. They're so cute. How could she even say this? Granny still has a problem. Granny is still flashing, talking about children these days have a sense of entitlement. They think they're supposed to get things. They think that the grandparents are supposed to take care of their children. She said strong mothers let their children know that we ain't supposed to be, as grandparents, sitting home taking care of their children. No. I'm not a grandmother that's going to sit home in a rocking chair, rocking babies all day and all night either. I'm not. You know why I'm not? Not because my daughter would even do that. My daughter is a mother and enjoys being a mother. But there does come a time when even as young parents, you need some time for a breather. You need some time for a break. I think in my grandchildren's life, I've only probably watched them 3 times because my daughter is she and her husband are very hands-on. I think it's more of an importance for the grandparent to help the daughter or the son, especially specifically if they are single parenting, because they do need help. They really, really do. I think when you aren't willing to help your grandchildren, or your daughter or your son with their grandchildren, the reason is, remember I said, I think you didn't get help. So because you didn't get help, you don't feel a need to help with yours. I could be very wrong, but that would be the only feasible reason, which is not even feasible in my mind. That could be the only reason. I'm not helping her because I didn't have nobody else to help me. 2 wrongs never make a right. 2 wrongs never make a right. When you see something wrong going forward, you should be working to correct it. So this is the part that really burnt me. She said this: trust and believe that if you keep dropping your children off or trying to drop your children off at my house, trust and believe that they would be in the system or they would be in a shelter because you didn't do what you were supposed to as a parent. And she told her children, most definitely they would be in the system. Are you kidding me? So you're going to tell me if your children drop their children off, maybe they were addicted to drugs, maybe they just got caught up in something, you're going to take your flesh and blood and put it into the system because you already raised your children? That is an extension of you. Are you kidding me? She told her daughter that she knows what she wants her life to be now that she don't have no children after raising all her children, and it ain't raising no more children. She said she most definitely will support. She'll tell you to change a bottle, give them a bottle, wipe their nose, change their diaper, things of that nature, because I don't want to be putting words in her mouth. But she said she bougie. What's bougie? What's bougie? I know what bougie is, but I don't know what bougie is. And bougie? How you gonna be bougie when it comes to your grandbabies? I'm just saying. So I was gonna make this a two-part. I ain't making it no two-part. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys what I did. So after I looked at that first video, I went ahead and looked at the second video where the daughter had come back and said, I've been receiving a lot of comments, a lot of comments from people, both positive and both negative. She said, but one thing I want to let you guys know about my mom is a great mother. She said, I'm glad that my mother didn't allow me to drop my kids off. Trust me, sweetie, I know there were some times that you wanted her to allow you to drop them off. I know it was. She said, when I had my first baby, I was 14 years old. She said, my mama helped me raise my baby with my first child. I worked and everything, and my mom helped when I worked. But after I continued to have children, mind you, she does have 6. Her mother and her sister helped in the first pregnancy, helped with the children. But as she continued to have more children, her mother became less of a helper unto her. She said that by the time she had her third child, her mom had had enough and wasn't willing to help. She says that her mother helped her get a house. Her mother helped her and taught her about credit. And she said that if in fact she is doing something productive, that her mother would help her, and her mother didn't baby her. She said that at one time she did take advantage of her mother, but if Granny calls, and I guess she calls them as Granny babies, Granny loves her babies. She really does. She loves her babies, but she wanted to teach her daughter a lesson. You're going to keep having these babies. You're going to be stuck with them babies, and I'm not raising no babies. And after I looked at that video, I kind of understand what she's saying, but on the other hand, grandmothers can't be replaced. On the father's side, they can't be replaced, and on the mother's side, they can't be replaced. All I know is I'm going to finish doing this, and then I'm going to come back and tell you guys how I really honestly feel. So the young lady, as I said, Quaylee Ann, has 6 children. She's thankful that her mother and her sister were the way that they were with her. And she said her mom isn't and never has been her babysitter. She understands where her mother is coming from. She says when her mother sees that she's tired, she will in fact help her. Okay. Props for your mama with her helping you. Props for her assisting you when you first had your baby. All that is fine and well, but in my opinion, when one is talking about a member of their family, their own flesh and blood, and you're saying you're not going to raise no babies, God forbid if something were to happen and she be stuck raising babies, would you in fact tell me that your children would become wards of the state, or that your children would get in the system because you're not raising no babies? We have to be mindful of the things that we say and mindful of the things that we put into the atmosphere, because anything can happen. The one thing I guess that I want to say about that video is it shouldn't have been aired. It shouldn't have been aired. If Granny felt like that about taking care of her grandchildren, she had a right to feel like that. She really did. But to get on and do a rant of that nature and make yourself look like that, maybe she don't care how she look or how she comes off. Maybe she ain't worried about the world. I'm thankful to God that I am. First of all, I'm not getting in front of this video looking any kind of way. I just ain't gonna do it. And I'm definitely not gonna get in front of the video talking about what I can and what I will and will not do when it comes to members of my family. But to each his own. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell so that you are reminded of all the videos that I upload. No shots fired. Quayla Ann and Granny Baby or Granny, no shots fired. But you know what? I felt that I had a need, or there was a need, and I had a right to stand on behalf of me as a Black grandparent. Because guess what? I'm Black. I'm of the Black culture. But honey, I love my grandchildren. And if my daughter wanted to drop them off and I didn't have anything to do, she most definitely could do that. Because guess what? My grandchildren are a part of me and I love them immensely. With that being said, please have a wonderful and blessed day. God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.